Welcome to our live video series. It is Friday. It is actually July 9th, and about 13 seconds ago, I realized it's a special day for me. So we'll tell you about that in 1 second. All right, Fridays are fun days, and we are talking about the Kia Carnival today simply because it's awesome. I love it. I think you'll love it too. So we're gonna spend the next half hour going in detail to this vehicle. Nobody's gonna go more into detail. Nobody's gonna show you the stuff that I'm gonna show you. And we're going to do that. We do it with a live audience, so we're going to have live people commenting on this video. And if you're not live with us, you can simply comment in this comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer your comments in the future. But in the meantime, we're going to do that with a live audience. If you want to join us live, I'll show you how to do that. But just so you know, if you came here just for the content of this video and you don't want to hear a bunch of rambling for the next few minutes, we start the content at the 3-minute mark. We're just going to let our live audience jump in here. So feel free to skip to that 3-minute mark if you'd like. And if not, stick around. We're going to have some fun for a couple minutes. All right, here we go. Kia Carnival, if you want to join us live, every weekday at 2 o'clock we do this, and it is good. I'm in a good mood today. It's Friday. I'm really looking forward to this video. So if you want to join us live, go to the Kia Hyundai channel. You're probably already there. If you refresh the page exactly at 2 o'clock on a weekday, you'll see the homepage changes. It gets rid of the opening video, and it puts this live video right there. I'm going to click into this live video. You're going to have to watch an ad, but I'm going to show you quickly a different ad. If you're in Ontario and you're looking to buy a car, especially if you're looking to buy a Carnival, they're hard to come by right now. Contact us. Just reach out to us. As soon as this video is done, I'll put a link in the description below the video. You can reach out to me. I'll connect you with our sales team. We will get you a Carnival, and we'll do it well, and we'll do it for a fair price, and it'll be fun. We're fun here. All right, so that's it. I've run my ad. Nobody wants to watch me anymore. If you can see a couple people commenting there, if you've never been here before, we got some regulars that are always chatting there. Make sure you just drop a hello and hit the like button for me if you've never been to lots of me, and yeah. All right, what's going on in the Kia Hyundai world? We talked a little about Hyundai the other day. Let's talk about Kia stuff. Somebody asked me they asked me this morning, is the Sorento coming in a hybrid? Has not been confirmed by Kia Canada. I'm going to tell you it's coming. Hybrid Sorento and plug-in hybrid Sorento will be coming to Canada. When I have official information, we'll do a video on that. So that'll be pretty cool. We're also waiting for Kia World EV6 information. We know it's coming out. And I mentioned on my Instagram this morning that we are going to use this vehicle, the Carnival, to do some myth busting of the new Kia Sportage, because even the major magazines are making some claims about the new Kia Sportage that I promise you will not be true, and I can prove it to you with this vehicle right here. So we're going to talk about those as well. Nothing too fancy, just a couple little things that kind of irk me because reputable brands are saying things that they know isn't true. So they're just going for hits and likes. So, all right, we got 15 seconds to go. And like I said, this is the EX Plus model. I'm really looking forward to this. So those of you who are my regulars, let's get up to as many likes as we have people right now. And we'll jump in. We'll do our best here. Okay, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. All right, we're 3 minutes in. Here we go. Hey, did somebody say Tim's on? Sweet, Tim's on. Tim's moving today. He's not here. So that's good. Hi, Tim. I'm doing my best, I promise. Tim's my boss. All right, here we go. Kia Carnival. So this is the EX Plus model. It is the top of the line version without those VIP lounge seats, or some people call them the Lazy Boy type seats. They're not branded Lazy Boy, but that's probably what you're familiar with as far as colloquial terms. So this one has the 8 passengers. We'll show you the middle, 3 rows, 3 rows. Before we go too far, I just want to show you the key because it is a little unique on the minivans. And, oh yeah, we're not supposed to call this a minivan. Kia wants us to call this the Life Utility Vehicle in Canada. In the States, they call it something else, but I probably couldn't do the brand name there. So Life Utility Vehicle, the Love. It's a minivan, people. It's a minivan, and it is awesome. And if you want to buy one, we have them in stock right now, so you can come see them in person. So this vehicle, again, minivan key, a little different because we have those buttons to open the side doors. I'm going to show you some cool ways to open those side doors without having to touch those buttons. And there's the hold button there. That is your remote start. So you've got remote start, you've got the power opening doors, and the power opening tailgate, and all of those things. But the reality is, there's a nice new logo on the key. It looks pretty sharp too. Reality is, I don't need this key at all. I'm throwing it in my pocket right now. Oh yes, MPV in the States. They can't do that here. I think because there used to be a Mazda MPV here. It's a brand name for Mazda, I believe. Long story short, guys, it's a van. It's a really big van. And one thing we're not going to talk about a whole lot in this video is driving impressions. I put about 30 or so kilometers on this car the other day. I can tell you, again, I've driven them in the past, but driving again, it's really good at driving. It's just a really good driving vehicle. It's got good power, it's quiet, it's comfortable, it sorts itself out really well. So what you've got is a fairly large vehicle. It's one of the largest vans in its class, and I think that's okay because people who buy a minivan are buying them for the space. It's got the class-leading space inside, but It's got to be easy to park when it's bigger. You're probably moving from a smaller vehicle to this, and it's an adjustment, right? So if you're in a smaller vehicle and you're moving to this, I want you to know that the turning circle on this, when you turn the wheel nice and sharp, it turns sharp. It's easy to park, and this one in particular is even easier to park. So stay with me on this video. I'm going to show you why, because it's got a camera system that is class leading, and it just does a better job of helping you park for a bunch of reasons. I'm going to show you not only what it is, but why it's better. All right, so remember that key? It's in my pocket. Here we go. Let's see. I don't know how to film this when I'm working alone. We still got COVID rules, so I can't always use people. I'm going to stand here beside the door. My hand, one's on the camera, one's over here. And if I stand close, oh, you know what helps? If I lock the car. So I'm going to have to do this again. Got to wait like 15, 20 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a system where you can approach this vehicle with the proximity key in your pocket. So you're never going to take it out of my pocket or purse. I happen to be a person who doesn't carry a purse. But if you are one who carries a purse, more power to you. Keep the key in your pocket or purse. I'm going to approach that door. I'm not going to touch the door. I'm not going to touch the key. The door can open just by having me approach it. Same thing works at the rear. We're going to show you how some of these things work. So hopefully we've waited long enough. Flip the camera around again here. Have to have the car locked. Going to come up here. Going to approach the door. My hands are here. Hear the beeping? I didn't touch it. So if you are carrying your child, which some of us do when we have minivans, towards the van, and you just don't want to have to, grapple with your keys and grapple with all kinds of other stuff, you just stand in the center of that door, wait for it a little bit, it beeps, and it opens. It's a super great feature. You can turn it on or off. The same thing happens on the tailgate. Now, because the vehicle's unlocked, I don't think it'll work back here anymore. You have to choose the door you're going to come to first. So we'll wait for a second, but no, it doesn't work, and that's okay. The very first door you come to is the one that does it. So now what we can do is we can pop this tailgate either by the button, which I meant to film that way. The button's right in there. Or you can do it a bunch of different ways. You can use a key fob, all kinds of things. You can open it from the driver's seating position. But the point is, all of these doors open on their own if you want them to. So if you have, your baby in hand and your Christmas gifts and it's snowy and icy under here, some of our competitors will make you wave your leg underneath there. I'm not a child expert. I always say to my kids, listen, I'm your dad. I didn't promise I'd be your good dad. But here's the thing. I don't think you should be holding a baby on snow and ice with 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot waving underneath the van to open it. You shouldn't have to do that. You just have to stand there. It can sense the proximity keys there, and the door will open. You also have the ability to have it as an auto closing door. So a couple things are going up here. It's going to auto close right now because it sensed me step away from underneath. It was beeping. It's still beeping. Now I'm going to step away. It should close. There we go. See that? It's beeping, lights are blinking, and it closes on its own. So when you have your baby, and I didn't touch anything, I just stood near it. When you have your baby, you put your baby stuff in the back, you're still holding your baby, you don't want to have to reach up for that, you want to hold on to your baby, you can have that closed. Now I say baby, it could be your soccer ball, it could be the things that are important to you, like your sports equipment or whatever else. The point is the doors can open and close, and you can turn those features on or off. So if you want it to just open on its own but never shut on its own because you've got a little 2-year-old and you're worried about it, smacking the 2-year-old in the head, no big deal. Just turn those on and off. So those are cool little features I just wanted to show you before we get going, but what I really want to show you is inside the vehicle here. We're going to start with the driver's environment. We're going to work our way to the passenger compartment. We're going to go to cargo space. We're going to do a whole lot more, and we're going to take your questions. So if you've never been on our videos before, do me a favor, hit the like button, and let's get going inside here. All right, inside, artificial leather. What does artificial have to do with anything? It's better. It's just a little bit softer. It's not quite as hot in the summer, not quite as cold in the winter, and it feels like real leather. It wears very well. And of course, you don't have to get leather, but this trim does have it. Again, we're second from the top trim, powered seats with a lumbar adjustment. So if you're going on a road trip on this car, it's like uber comfortable. It's super comfortable. It's really kind of awesome. All right, hop in here. And first thing I want to show you is the mirror housings. They do fold in. I can tap a button here and the whole housing folds in. So if you wanted to fold those in a tight parking spot, you could just do it by mirror housing, and they both fold in on the other side. All right, really quickly, I want to show you one thing, the myth-busting thing that I talked about on Instagram this morning, on my Instagram account, the new Sportage. People are super impressed because they see this huge panel here, and they said, wow, it's going to have a huge single screen. Big magazines are saying this. It's not going to have a huge single screen. It's going to be 2 screens. It's going to be exactly like this, and let me show you what that looks like. So I'm turning the car to the on position, but I'm not starting it. See what's got going on here? Screen here and screen there. I'll show you it from my perspective, and it's a little bit better. I'll try to show you from my perspective. So what happens is they take a picture kind of like this, and they're like, wow, the whole thing's a screen. And visually it is a screen, but you can tell from the software pictures in the new Sportage, it's the same software we've got going on here. There's a whole bunch of different views you can have. So if we wanted just the map, for instance, you could have just the map, and you could do the map and the radio, whatever you want. Lots of stuff in here. But it looks like a single screen to your eyes. It is not a single screen. What it is the biggest screen in any Kia or Hyundai vehicle ever. So it's a 12.3-inch display screen here. A lot of them are 10 1/4. It's a 12.3-inch display screen here. A lot of them are 10 1/4. They're big, and it's hard to show on video how big they are. I mean, if you compare it to my hand, you know, like it's massive. It's really easy to work. It's really easy to use, and it's really good. Now, the thing that we're going to talk about first is we talked about driving this car, and I talked about backing up this car. Let's do some funny things. Car's off, and I'm going to turn the wheel. All right, now let's pretend I'm backing into my parking spot. Here's what you're gonna do. First of all, the car turns really sharp, much sharper than I've turned the wheel already. You can see where your front is going to swing, right? Because I'm gonna back up, my front end's gonna come out, it's gonna swing. So you can see anything in there, I'm gonna hit. In the back, when you're backing up, you can see where you're headed, but that blue line, all you're gonna do is you're gonna keep turning until you line up the car or the parking spot with that blue line, and that's when you have to straighten your wheel. It's super, super easy to park. It makes sense when you're doing it on a test drive, or the salesperson can show you this if they're a good salesperson, and if you're looking for a good salesperson, might I suggest Brantford Kia? Throwing that out there. All right, so they're gonna show you how this works, and it works really well, but here's the thing that's pretty cool. When I go into drive, it also shows me the front. And now a lot of people get into trouble in the drive-through. They go a little bit slow, and what happens is they're used to driving their small car, they turn around the corner, but they forget that the rear of the car is going to swing in and cut the corner a little sharper, and they end up damaging the side door. If you've ever seen a minivan with a damaged side door, they went through a drive-through, they took the turn too sharp. So whether you're at the bank, whether you're at McDonald's, whatever you are, your kids are yelling at you, and you know you have to turn a little sharp. So now you can see, you know, if you keep the road inside here, then you'll be fine. You will not hit things that you shouldn't hit. So really, really helpful features. And when you're pulling up to the curb, this is the front of the vehicle. If I look out the front of the vehicle, I can't see the floor. I can't see that grate in the floor. No matter how high I put the camera, you're not going to sit that tall. I can see the grate in the floor there. So when you have your kid leaving your skateboard out front, or more importantly, leaving their friend out front, hide and go seek, somebody's laying down in front of the car, not a good spot. You'll see all that stuff. So really good camera views here, combined with a car that turns much sharper than your probably shorter car that you're moving from. This car is super, super, super easy to park, and I really, really appreciate that. It's just really good. All right, throw the car back in park. We can show you a lot of things in the screen. One thing I want to show you, let's just go back to our home button here. I want to show you the passenger view camera. So here's some confusion. When we first heard about this vehicle, and when the brochures were first released, there was a mistake in them, and it did not say that the passenger view camera was included in the EX Plus model. Guess who found that out? We did. And we talked to head office, and we said, hey, there's a passenger view camera in our EX Plus. Can you tell us if that's supposed to be like that? So now we have a new brochure that says that there's a passenger view camera. What is that? It's awesome. It is completely awesome. There is my rear seats, my middle row seats. There's my hand. Hey, everybody. And so again, hand in front, bringing the hand to the back. So if you want to see your kids in the back and say, he's hitting me. Oh, are you? I can zoom in and see what it's doing. So this is a really cool thing, because a lot of our competitors, they put this little dinky wide angle mirror right up here, so you're not using this mirror to see outside. They put a little dinky wide angle mirror, and you know what you can't see? You can't see that he stole my red Smarties. It's not red Smarties, it's red beads. You know how this goes if you have parents. The point is you have a camera where you can see it. And now the third row, they've got their headphones in because your younger kids are here, your bigger kids are in the back. And the third row seats, they're not listening to you. They got their headphones in, they don't want to talk to you. Well, guess what? You hit the talk now button. I don't know if you can hear the echo in here, but what it's doing is it's using the microphone that you would use on your Bluetooth phone. And when I rub that, it's playing only in the rear speakers. So when they got the music cranked too loud and you said, Johnny in the back, do you want to stop at McDonald's? That'll make them listen. So now you can talk to them in a normal voice, not yelling like I'm doing, and they can hear you back there. So not only can you see them, you can communicate with them. It's super, super great, and it's just nice and simple. So we're going to zoom back in, and if we want to go to the home button here, we can go back to there. Lots of different home things. We've got that navigation thing here, so if we want to go to navigation full screen, again, it thinks we're at night because we're inside a room, so it's seeing a little bit less light. Normally, this would be a lighter navigation. So the snitching camera to check young couples. Yeah, exactly. There is that too. Now, I think it'd be cool because this car has a cell phone app. And on the cell phone app, you can take pictures usually of the outside with the outside cameras. It'd be really cool if you could take pictures of the inside camera. Your kids would never borrow the car ever. Anyways, I mean, your teenagers wouldn't. So you've got this screen. It can go full screen. It can be a lighter screen when you're outside for the navigation. You can cycle through a whole bunch of information here. So depending on what you want, you just cycle through calendar, other stuff, passenger talk. If you want to leave that up at all times, you can. Weather information, 19 degrees Celsius today. Actually feels a lot hotter than that. So you can fill things out, you can fill the screen. And again, this is a massive screen. So there's a lot going on here. I should talk about the quiet mode as well. Quiet mode is when you want to basically, again, remember the teenager in the back with their earbuds in? So you can turn off the music on the rear speakers, but keep it on the front speakers. So you can listen to your music and they don't have to hear your music. Now, if you got younger kids, maybe the quiet mode's good to help them sleep. So you can hear some music and they hear nothing at all. Just pretty cool little functions for families. HD radio data. I always like to show this. I don't know if it'll work. Sometimes we're inside, it doesn't always work. Hey, it works. Radar map. It'll show you if it's raining in the area. And guess what? A little bit of clouds over there, but no real clouds in our area. Clouds over the lake as well. So you have a little radar map in your car, which is pretty cool if you're going camping or something like that. You want to check things out. Lots of other features in there. What else can we show you in here? Phone protection. I should talk about that. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You've got it in this car. So again, you're texting your friends while you're driving. You pull up Google Maps, take your directions there. All kinds of your phone functions are brought in there. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, right here in this big screen. And if you want to adjust your rear climate, you can do all kinds of different things where you can see what's going on in your rear climate, turn it on or off. Cool. Your rear people can do that as well. You can lock them so the rear kids can't play with the climate control. So if you've got adults back there, you can unlock them. Activate the climate upon washer use. So basically, what you can do is when you use the windshield washer fluid, if you've ever used a windshield washer fluid on a modern car, sometimes you get that alcohol smell because it just shoots the windshield washer up and it sucks the air in. As soon as you use the windshield washer fluid, it'll cut off the outside air for a minute or two, or a few minutes, I don't remember how long, and then you don't have to smell that alcohol smell. Kind of great. Just little, like tons of little features in this car. Auto defog, auto dehumidify. It also has the best feature in the whole wide world. I'm going to try to focus on my hand here to try to, see that? On the right of the screen, there's those little squiggly lines. Those little squiggly lines are almost impossible to see. What that means is it is a windshield defroster. You never have to scrape the windshield on this vehicle. Now, if you've ever had to scrape the windshield on a minivan, they're big windshields. Windshield defroster, never have to scrape it. I love that feature. I have it on my Kia Soul, my electric car. It's amazing. I never thought of how good it would be until this winter. You just never scrape your windshield, ever. It works great. So that's a really cool feature that's on this car as well. You've got garage door openers right over here, so you can come up. You never have to have that clunky garage door opener on the visor. You can open up to 3 doors there. You've got some lighting in here, which you can turn on or off there. And of course, some other seating features I want to show you just while we're taking a peek over here. This is my passenger seat. Can I zoom out a little bit? No, that's as far as I can zoom in. I'm sorry about that. So when your passengers are getting in the rear seats, or maybe you got some in the front seat, I can power this seat forward. I can lean it forward. So you can create a little extra room or a little bit less room, depending on what you want to do. Make somebody comfortable, which is really nice. From the driver's seat, you can let people in through the controls over here. If I can show them over here. Oh, it's really tough to show on camera. It's easy to see in person, but there we go. So you can see the controls there for opening the 2 doors, opening the trunk, whatever you want, or you can just turn the power doors off altogether. If you open the doors from there, from the driver's seat, you can also move that passenger seat over. Let's look at the climate control real quickly. Automatic climate control, going to go to rear climate as well. We're going to turn the rear climate to the on, actually we'll just do the auto position so it follows what we're doing. And go back to the auto. So there we go. We got tri-zone climate control. They happen to be all set at 23 degrees, but I can change that. Driver could be 21, passenger could be 25, the rear passengers could be 19 for all we care about. So you can customize all these really easy. A lot of you don't like these touch capacitive buttons. You want hard buttons. Well, basically when you have the auto setting, the only thing you're going to be playing with is the temperature, and that temperature is a regular thing. What I suggest for most people, leave it in the auto setting, let it bring it up and down to temperature. And what's cool is if you don't want it to just rush air at you, you can still have it set to 23, but it'll just take a little longer. The fans won't go above a lower speed, and it'll just take a little while longer to reach temperature, but you'll never get blasted with the hot or the cold. Works really well if you've opened a door on the minivan. Somebody in the front seat sometimes, let's say a rear door opens, somebody runs in and out real quick, and all of a sudden the front passenger gets blasted with freezing cold air. They never left the vehicle, so now they're getting blasted with cold air because it's trying to reach the temperature we have it set for again, and then it'll calm itself down. So if you have the fan speed lowered, what you end up with is it just takes a little longer to reach that, but nobody gets blasted with crazy cold air. On a hot day or a really cold day, you want as much air coming out as you can, and you just set it like that. All right, light turned off in here in the outside building because it's on motion sensor. We'll take that in a second. Here is a wireless phone charger, and it's vented, and it's faster charging than previous model Kia. So you drop your phone in there, you have it vented, because of course when phones charge, they get a little hotter. It's going to keep it cool, which is also going to help it charge. 3 USB ports there. We're going to talk a lot about USB ports when we move to the back seats in a second. I'm going to take your questions in just a second here. Automatic transmission, it's an 8-speed automatic. You can shift your own gears if you want to tow something, or even if you don't want to tow something. If you do want to tow something, you can tow 3,500 pounds. Down here, some pretty awesome features. Rump roasters, heated seats. Again, if I can see these perfectly in person, but I can't see them on the camera. Heated seats, which I'm going to turn off right now because it's very warm in here. I'm going to turn the climate system off. You also have heated steering wheel, which is pretty cool. And remember I said the car is easy to park? In addition to that amazing camera system, which we can turn on by just hitting this button. So when you pull into a parking lot at slow speeds, hit that button, you can turn the camera system on. You also have parking sensors, parking beepers. If you've never had parking beepers before, they're really handy even with the cameras, because be honest, if you drive a minivan, you're driving distracted. Kids, they're not safe. Don't tell anybody I said that. Otherwise they'll ban kids like they ban cell phones in cars, which, you know, if you could have a virtual kid, that'd be cool. Anyways, what I'm saying is you get distracted when you're driving minivans. So having those beepers are really good, because even though you've got great cameras, what happens is you don't notice everything. So when you hear the little beep, 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 you'll know you're near something, and then you've got that. So you've got the beepers, you can check the cameras and see what you're about to hit, about to not hit, and that works well. All right, really quickly, I just want to go over 2 things, then I'm going to take your questions. So if you have a question, now's a good time to ask it. I'll get there in a second, but don't not pay attention to this. Lane keeping assist, lane follow assist. This button is lane follow assist. Both of those systems work together to steer this car by itself. Don't let that freak you out. It sounds crazy until you experience it. So what it does, it helps keep the car centered in the lane. It steers itself centered in the lane. I just came back from vacation. I have one car with this function, and I have one car without. The vacation car is the one without. I spent the entire trip doing this. A little bit left, a little bit right, a little bit left, a little bit right, a little bit left, a little bit right. All the time. If you've been driving without the lane keeping, lane follow assist for years, you don't notice that. If you drive with it, you don't have to do that anymore. You just keep your hand on the wheel like this, or wherever you want to put it, and it keeps you centered in the lane. It takes all the stress out of doing a really long trip, and then you've also got smart cruise control, which if you're in stop and go traffic is amazing, because it'll stop and go on stop and go traffic for you. But also if you're driving at 100 kilometers an hour and someone cuts out in front of you and go 90 kilometers an hour, it comes over to 90, and like it'll slow down to 90. So smart cruise control, really awesome. LED headlights, we're going to show you that in a second. Lots more to show you. Blind spot detection, which has rear cross traffic alert as well. That teddy bear's there for a reason. We're going to show him as part of our demonstration. Let's turn the car off for a second. We're going to take your questions right now. Let's see, where are we at? We are at 40 people on right now. 21 of those people have said, give it a like. 40 people actually means that we're going to have about 300 to 400 people on this video. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. If every one of you hit it right now, we'll probably hit 60 likes. So let's aim for 50 likes. We can do this. 50 likes by the end of this video. All right. Here we go. We're going to take some questions now. I saw a couple of them come in. I'm going to try to catch all of them as best I can. It is Friday. I'll stay on with you as long as we need to. Is there a recall on it? There have been some recalls on this. So here's the thing. People, I get it that there's a negative connotation about recalls, but here's what happens with Kia. They're hypersensitive to making sure the ownership experience is fantastic. So some of these safety recalls, yeah, there's some safety recalls that fall under things that are, you know, there was no cars affected or very few cars affected. Any car that has a recall from the factory, we can't sell you that car until it's met the safety standard. So it has to have a safety recall. Now, during your Kia Hyundai ownership experience, especially Kia, you're going to find that you're going to have what's called service actions and service campaigns. They function like a recall. If in your head you have a situation where you're like, oh, I don't want to have any work done on my car, I want it to be perfect from the factory, that's fantastic. But if you're like most people, if Kia finds out they can improve the vehicle and they can improve everybody's vehicle, so let's say a part fails, 1 in 10,000 vehicles fail, and Kia decides to do a service campaign. Service campaign functions like a recall. The only reason it's not a recall is because it's not a safety item. If they can improve it, they will. So to have a campaign on a car is Kia's way of obsessively making sure things are better. And here's the thing you need to know. Kias are among the most reliable vehicles anywhere right now. When you got Toyota and Honda and people like, those are the reputations of quality, they built their reputation winning awards that Kia is winning right now. So just keep in mind that sometimes people are really on me about recalls and stuff. It's like every manufacturer has recalls. None of these cars will be sold to you with any kind of recall. And they are obsessive about making sure that if there's any issue, they fix it so that nobody has a bad ownership experience. And that's why Kia is doing so well with their quality. So hopefully that makes some sense. All right. Total actual price for this car. Is it a good time to get one now? Yeah, it's a great time to get one now. They're selling like crazy. Everybody's agreed that this is a great value in the market. So total price of this car, let's just show it to you. LX is where they start in Canada. $34,795. So you start there, you move to the LX Plus. If you can stretch from an LX to an LX Plus, I do highly recommend that. You get the smart push button doors, heated seats, heated steering wheel, smart tailgate. You get a lot for that jump. So if you can stretch from that 34 to 38-ish, I know it seems like, well, almost 35 to just low 38, that's a jump I encourage you to make if you can. It's really good. So the LX Plus on up, really good. EX adds some features. EX Plus is where we are today. So EX Plus is $45,595. That's when you get these massive screens, the 360 camera, the full LED headlights, and full LED fog lights. They all have LED headlights, but this one has better LED headlights. We'll show you them in a second. And then if you move up to this one here, the SX, you'll have to see our videos on this one. The SX has the dual sunroofs, the Bose audio. Now, to be fair, the minivans have some of our absolute best. The Carnival has some of our absolute best standard stereo. You don't need Bose audio the same way you do in some of our small cars, for instance, where the Bose audio really makes a big difference. But you don't need a great stereo, but if you do want to move to Bose audio, you go there. Passenger view monitor, which again, we have that here. They just didn't include it here. Second row VIP lounge seats. Those are really lazy boy style seats. And then proper leather as opposed to artificial leather. So that's where you're moving up to $48,595 on that one. So that's good question on pricing. When do we need to service it? Service schedules can be found online. I'm not going to get too much into that because it's different across the country. Canadian services, generally 6,000 kilometers or so is when you service it for an oil change, and there's some other services that go in there. So I can send anybody who has that question, I can send you our service information on these vehicles. Uvo Intelligence, I should point out, you have a cell phone app on this car. The cell phone app can remote start the car. In many cases, it can take pictures around the car. It can tell if your doors are locked. So if you get in the house or you went in the mall, did I lock the car? You just check your phone. If you did forget to lock it, you just hit the button on your phone. Really cool. And again, remote start from a cell phone is a pretty cool feature. All right, go back to some of your questions. Somebody says, please smash and blast the like button. I'm totally okay with that. We still got like 21 likes to go to get to our 50. We can do this. I'm frequently traveling to the coast. How will this car handle going through Sandy Beach? I don't know. I've never driven it through Sandy Beach. What I will say is I wouldn't be concerned at all with it in the snow. It's got a ton of safety features in there. It's also got the most ground clearance. Once you have a little bit of ground clearance, I think you throw snow tires on this and you've got everything you need that way. Sandy Beach, not something I've tried. Maybe I should take one down. Maybe the boss will let me go to a beach. All right, any guesses whether there might be an update to allow more customization of the instrument cluster screen? Short answer, if you're asking me to guess, don't expect that. Kia's pretty tight control on these kinds of things. Some of us want to see a few improvements to this purple kind of screen here, and we've been pushing for it. So I'd like to see a couple little minor changes in there. They haven't offered it yet, but they are looking to improve some of these things. So while we can't customize it the way we want maybe, I think Kia's definitely looking at always making improvements, and that's really a good thing there. Okay, let me see. Is there anything else? Gonna buy a Carnival EX, just learning about it. Yeah, cool. Which trim has additional screens on the back seats? So in the States, there's some screens on the back seats. In Canada, you don't get that. I'm gonna be really honest. You can get it as an accessory in Canada. It's cheaper to buy an iPad and mount it to the door because two reasons. One, you can use the iPad inside. Two, you can do more things on the iPad. And three, if you want to play a movie, just download it, it's easier. So I always encourage people to get an iPad on the back because those screens with the DVD players, DVDs aren't gonna be around much longer. Get the iPad, your kids will be happier, and you'll save some money. Somebody just asked a question on the bottom here. Let me just see here. I missed part of the broadcast. If you covered it, that's fine. Some of my acquaintances have not had positive Kia ownership experience. What has changed in terms of quality? Okay, great question. Kia is one of the best quality vehicles you can get right now. You said they had a previous Sedona. I skipped that part when I was reading your question. Previous model Sedonas, early Sedonas, not great quality. Mid Sedonas, pretty good quality. These Carnivals, I don't have any issues with at all. Like we were just saying earlier in the broadcast, Kia's quality, where Honda and Toyota earned their quality reputation, a lot of those awards that they won to do that, that's what Kia is winning right now. So hopefully that helps. All right, let's go back seat here. There's a lot to show you here. We're going to go quickly because a lot of videos show these pretty well. You'll notice I just touched that button there. I love that. You can pull the handle, but if you have a 3-year-old that wants to get in the car on their own, they can just touch that button. They're not going to pinch their hand anywhere. They're not going to yank that door handle off. They just touch that button, the door opens, they're good to go. All right, a couple things I want to show you quickly. You've got the standard seats here. They're amazing. They're comfortable. Here's the thing. Do they fold into the floor? They do not. I think this is a good idea. So hear me out. Do they fold on the floor? No, they don't. They come out very easily. I could take one out for you in seconds. I could take one out in this car quicker than you could fold one into the floor. Now, if you have one that folds in the floor, you're making a few sacrifices. First of all, you don't have a comfortable seat for an adult. I stand by that. You can argue with me all you want, but let me show you what I mean. If you have a seat in these seats right here, show me when you're 6 feet tall, your legs sitting flat on the seat. Show me them being long enough. Those seats, they're like 7/8 size. They're not full size. They sit low to the floor. They're thinly padded because what do you want? You want them to fold into the floor. Well, you're never folding them in the floor that often. When you do need to, you take the middle row out. They're light. They're as light as your toddler to take out. I can do it, and I have a bad back. We've done it in another video. I don't think I'll do it in this video just because I don't need to. But these seats are really comfortable. And like I said, they can come in and out quicker than you can move those seats into the floor. So it's not hard to do. It's not heavy to do. Yes, you have to leave them at home, but that gives you class-leading space for the few times you need full maximum space. When you got to fit that 4x8 sheet of plywood in here, you can. Once I'm back here, you're going to notice a lot of good things. See that USB port? It's on the back of this seat. It's on the back of the front seat. It's also another 12-volt port back here, another AC port right there. You've got all the ports you need for every kid. Every seat in this van has some sort of port or a 12-volt port or a USB port, including in the third row seat. So you've got tons of ports there. It's really helpful. One thing that's kind of cool is you have this double pocket. You've got a pocket here, and then in front of that, you've got this netted pocket here. If you have a netted pocket here, you can fit like wired cords out of here and plug them into the side of the seat. And again, remember what I said to you. Don't buy the infotainment system. What you're going to do is you're going to buy an iPad holder. You're going to put a kit right here. You're going to power it up off the USB over here, and you're going to let your kid watch movies. Why? Because they can pair multiple devices to your screen. When you pair the iPad here to that screen or to that infotainment system as an audio device, so the driver can still have their phone paired for phone and for audio, the rear seat passenger is going to have it paired for audio device only. And that means you can watch your movies here on the iPad clipped in there. And when you're done, kids are going to take the iPad inside. It's a better idea. All right, third row seats. One thing I want to show you quickly. We've gone over time already. Let's just show you this seat here. This seat here moves all the way forward like that. Why is that amazing? Because remember, that passenger seat can move a long ways back, and they can take care of a baby sitting here. Maybe it's a rear-facing seat. You move that seat a long ways back, you can see the baby's face in the rear seat in the middle. Now, the other thing is, you got 3 kids across here. They're getting a little bigger. They're starting to argue. Well, let me just show you that in a second. That seat can go a long ways back, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the rear seats down. All right, guys, so you guys are wondering, we usually end these things about 30 minutes. We're going to go to the 40-minute mark. That's our goal. So we got another 7 minutes to hang with us here. I opened the trunk here. I've got floor mats in here because it's a brand new vehicle. I'm going to throw them underneath. Let's show you how easy this is to do. Keep in mind, I am working here with one hand. So we're going to fold these down like that. We're going to lift this up, push it down. Super simple. They fold into the floor flat. You've got the biggest cargo space out of any other minivan in North America, and that's probably the world. Going to fold this one down the same way. Super simple, one-handed. And I'm going to cover these up right there with those little panels right there. So that's down. Now, remember that middle seat? First of all, you got more luggage space than you could possibly dream of. Your rear seat passengers, there's their little USB ports. Every rear window, side doors, and rear have a little sunshade that comes up there, clips into there. The camera actually makes it look lighter than it is. It gives you more shade than you would think. So you've got that going on there. You've got another 12-volt port and AC port back here. You've got a place to stick a cargo net. You've got all kinds of things. But remember that middle seat? That can fold down and be used as a desk, right? So it has a little tabletop type thing and cup holders. But what's really cool about it is you got a couple kids in the back. You're going on vacation. 3 kids across here. They're all sitting there. And, you know, Johnny's touching me. Mary's hitting me. We don't like this. So what we can do here is we can click this seat here and get rid of it. What we did is we just took the middle row seat and slid it all the way to the back. So now you've got 3 seats, all of them captain's chairs. You've still got all the luggage space you would have had from having the third row down, stack it around this person there, and you've got the ability to have a lot of extra space. Fold this down, put these seats back up, and they can have a little space to play cards, a little card game, and it's pretty cool. Somebody asked a really great question. Can the middle rows reverse? There are international models, and it'd be super cool if they brought it here, but they seem to have not. I think it's a regulation thing. There are spaces where the middle row seat can be set backwards, which would be super cool. That's not available in North America. We've all tried it. It can't be done properly or safely. So the seats can't be reversed in North America. It would be cool, but if you're seeing those on international models, don't expect to see it in the North American models. Real quick, you got a roof rack up top. The seating is amazing there. I usually throw a teddy bear in to show space, but I think I can just tell you, it is the largest minivan in space, interior space that you can get. It's super helpful that way. I don't want to waste too much of your time. I'm going to go to your questions now. Do me a favor, there's about 64 of you on. If you have questions, I'll stay on. Let's chat. Let's hang out. Let's do this. I've done this video before, so if this one's a little too long, it is what it is. But do me a favor, ask your questions and hit that like button. We do this really in-depth stuff. You can subscribe for more. We're going to have a lot of short videos coming up on how to use individual features in this van if you're interested in that, so you can do that. But do me a favor, hit that like button. Let's keep going. Let's have some fun. I lost a few of you already, but if you have questions, I will stay on with you today because Fridays are fun days and I like to hang out with you. All right. Lots of cargo space. Somebody says they have a 2002 Sedona LX. Yeah, it's a matter of maintenance. That's right. Maintenance is a key. You do the maintenance and you'll have good things, but now we've got better quality. Some of those quality issues that we used to have, a decade or two ago, they're just not there anymore. Somebody says, nice minivan. It really is. If there's a question that I missed, maybe one of my regulars want to sort of copy and paste it into my question box again. Is there actually an 11-seater model? There is, not in North America, and I would love to see one because it would be tight. But again, the point is there is an 11-seater model. So when you think about how large this is, there is an 11-seater model. Is there an all-wheel drive model? There's not, and there won't be. Part of this huge space you get is because you have the layout the way it is. We do have an 8-passenger Kia Telluride in the lineup, which isn't a whole lot more expensive. So, and depending on the trim, it can be, very similar priced. So Telluride is what you're gonna do if you want an 8-passenger SUV with all-wheel drive. This is what you're gonna be if you don't need the all-wheel drive and you just want the space. Does the Kia app helps to keep schedule of all maintenance? Does it keep track of mileage and tells when oil changes and other things like? So the Kia app can do stuff like that. Where I find the easiest way to keep track of your maintenance is there's a maintenance reminder built in there. So you don't need the sticker on the window anymore. It'll just tell you in your dash when you need to come in. And if you follow that, you can work with your dealer and that's the easiest way. So that's really good. Need removable seats in my 2021 Sorento. Do the seats in the Carnival fit? They do not. Carnival is much different than your Sorento seats. So yeah. Okay. Greetings from Denmark. You're the reason we signed a deal on a new Tucson. Sweet. Somebody in Denmark owes me some referral fee. What kind of, is it, I don't know, what's the money called in Denmark? Whatever it is, I want some of it. Okay, if you were going from 2020 Telluride SXP to Carnival, would you get SXP in Carnival? Okay, so I'm gonna edit, Wendy Dixon, I'm gonna edit your question a little bit. What's the better vehicle, Telluride or Carnival? Okay, let's talk about that. Let's just simplify it really quickly. Top of the line Telluride has all-wheel drive. If you need all-wheel drive, then we're done talking, there's your car. If you don't need all-wheel drive, top of the line Carnival is nicer. It has a 12.25-inch screen, it has a little bit more modern software. It has those VIP lounge seats that are literally, you can lay down and sleep in them legally while you're driving in the middle row seats. You have more space. Again, if you don't need all-wheel drive, I am on the record of saying the top-of-the-line Carnival is nicer than the Telluride. And I don't say that lightly because the Telluride has literally won just about every award it can possibly win. In every category it's entered in, it's won North American SUV of the Year, it's won World SUV of the Year, it's won everything. And the Carnival is actually a nicer vehicle. So if you don't need all-wheel drive and you want really comfortable middle row seats, you want a little bit nicer tech, you want the camera that faces the back, you want some of these new things that you're getting in here with the software, this car has it, the Telluride hasn't got it yet, and this is a less expensive vehicle. And it's like $10,000 from bottom to the top end. So if you go to the GM or the Fords of the world, I don't know if you've ever tried to build a pickup truck, you start at a $25,000 pickup truck, and before you know it's a $70,000 pickup truck. it's like $10,000-ish from the very bottom line Carnival to the very top line. The top line, the midline models are really good value when you started getting into that level of equipment. So I really encourage you to consider a Carnival. What's best for you? It just depends on you. But I will say the Carnival's nicer than the Telluride inside, depending on the trim. Okay, so what color is my favorite? I don't think it matters. I really like the Ghost Gray. It's not a traditional minivan color. This is a silver color, but there's a Ghost Gray color that I don't have in sight here. Just looking around, yeah, nothing on it in sight here. It looks pretty cool. I think that looks good in a minivan. But yeah, color is, I'm not a fashion person, that's for sure. So Wendy says, thank you, that was super helpful. Okay, there we go. There we go. Is there any questions I missed? Any of you regulars? It's Friday, we've stayed on a long time. We're at the 40-minute mark. Does the Carnival come with all the safety features that the Telluride has? Essentially, yes, possibly even more. So the Telluride at this point does not have forward junction collision avoidance. What that means is the camera looking forward and the radar plate, in addition to working for the smart cruise control, autonomous emergency braking, and lane follow assist, lane keeping assist, that camera that's up there, the radar plate that's down there, they can work to do one cool thing. Imagine I'm at an intersection, you're in the minivan, you're about to turn this way, but I've decided yellow light, screw it, I'm running it. If I decide to run the light, again, you're already looking where you're going, so you're not seeing me. The Telluride is capable of stopping to avoid me running the red light or running the yellow light to go. So you're in the intersection, you're ready to get out of the intersection, clear the intersection by turning this way. Junction collision avoidance assist, this has it, so it's capable of avoiding that type of collision. The Telluride does not have that yet, so technically you could argue that the Carnival has a little bit extra safety equipment potentially. Again, if you don't consider all-wheel drive to be a safety thing, then, so there are, there's tweaks, but yeah, Telluride and the Carnival share just about every safety feature except for that where the Carnival has it and the Telluride does not. So great questions coming in here, guys. Lane keep assist in Kias is amazing, use it every day. Exactly. The ability for your car to steer itself sounds absolutely insane, but you can see in the comment section here and real life when I deal with people, they buy a car from us and I talk to them about the features and they always get nervous. And I said, try it for a week, see if you get used to it. I've never yet had someone come back who's tried it for a week and said, bad idea. They absolutely love it. So it feels weird. Oh, I want to have control. I'm a control freak too. I want to have control of everything. You have better control safety with it. It works great. So, it's not for everybody and that's why you can turn it off. But I think most of you will find that is a really good thing. Have to book this video to show you what to do. Brad Middleton, I don't think your sentence is English. You have to just retype that. I'm not sure how to read that. Color is my favorite. Don't think it matters. I'm not the fashion guy. If you're taking color advice from me, don't. I'm not a fashionable person. I've had the same haircut for 20 years, and the only reason it works is because I'm balding. So, yeah, fashion advice, red color, or color, red's my favorite color. I don't know if a bright red minivan is the best option, so there we go. I think that's it, guys. I think we got one. I have the white one. So there we go. All right, so we're gonna leave it there, guys. Oh, what does the comfort mode do? There are different drive modes on this car. Comfort mode is kind of the standard mode, how it would come from the factory. Then there's a sport mode, which makes it really more aggressive. A smart mode, which makes it get great fuel efficiency. Unless you get into the throttle, then it'll bump it into the normal or bump it in the comfort mode. So the drive modes essentially, you ever heard of somebody who chips a sports car? And basically they make it really more aggressive. That can be really helpful if you want to just keep it in the power band and be aggressive. The smart mode is what I recommend you doing a test drive in. That'll give you kind of that nice, good fuel efficiency feel. And then when you get into the throttle, it'll jump it up to sport mode if you need to, which means it keeps the revs a little higher, shifts the points a little higher. Sport mode can be used in towing situations. I wouldn't say you use it all the time for towing, but sometimes when you're towing a trailer, this car tows 3,500 pounds. So if you're towing a camping trailer up a hill, so you can tap that sport mode, it'll keep it in the revs. Even down the hill sometimes that can work because that engine braking can help you. So sport mode is a drive mode you can use in certain towing situations that just mean that the car is in a better situation to tow as well. So sport mode in a minivan, yeah, it's kind of funny, but it does make it a little more punchy Actually significantly more punchy. It changes the way the throttle responds, but it is useful as well for towing. All right, very impressive family vehicle for family. We've gone on way too long, guys. 44 minutes is plenty long. It's a Friday. I want to thank all 70 of you who are still on right now. If you haven't hit the like button, do me a favor. We were going to try to go for 50 today. We only made it to 42 likes. Maybe we'll get some more afterwards. So thanks everyone for watching. We will have more next week. Have a great weekend. Be safe, have fun, and we'll talk to you again on Monday.